What if the greatest tragedy in human history didn't begin with war, not with famine, not with death, but with a conversation, a whisper beneath the trees, a question that sounded harmless, a choice that felt small. And in that moment, everything changed. In the beginning, the world was not broken. There was no fear, no shame, no pain, only peace. God planted a garden called Eden, a place overflowing with life. Rivers flowed gently. Trees bent under the weight of fruit. Every need was already met. And at the heart of this perfect world stood the first humans, Adam and Eve. They walked freely with God. They were naked and they felt no shame. Their lives were whole because nothing stood between them and their Creator. Only one instruction had been given. In the middle of the garden stood two special trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and bad. God's command was clear.
You are free to eat from every tree of the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, for in the day you eat from it, you will surely die.
It was not a test of hunger. It was a test of trust. Would they believe God or choose their own way? One day, Eve found herself near the forbidden tree. And then a voice, the serpent, more crafty than any other creature, spoke.
Did God really say you must not eat from every tree of the garden?
It was subtle, not a command, just a question. Eve answered,
We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but God has said about the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden, you must not eat from it. No, you must not touch it, otherwise you will die.
You certainly will not die. God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and bad.
In that moment, doubt entered the human story. Eve looked again at the tree. The fruit looked good for food. It was pleasing to the eyes and desirable for gaining wisdom. She took the fruit and ate. Then she gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he ate. No thunder cracked the sky, no fire fell from heaven, but something far worse happened. Their eyes were opened. Suddenly, they felt something new, shame. They realized they were naked. They felt exposed, vulnerable. So they stitched fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. For the first time, humans tried to hide, not just from each other, but from God. And when they heard God walking in the garden, they ran. God called out, "Where are you?"
I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked.
Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree from which I commanded you not to eat?
The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me fruit from the trees, so I ate.
What is this you have done?
The serpent deceived me, so I ate.
Instead of repentance, blame followed. Adam said, "The woman you gave me, she gave me the fruit." Eve said, "The serpent deceived me."
Trust had fractured, unity collapsed, sin had entered the world. And now there were consequences. God spoke judgment.
Because you have done this, you are the cursed one out of all the domestic animals and out of all the wild animals of the field. On your belly you will go, and you will eat dust all the days of your life. I will greatly increase the pain of your pregnancy. In pain you will give birth to children, and your longing will be for your husband, and he will dominate you. Because you listened to your wife's voice and ate from the tree concerning which I gave you this command, you must not eat from it. Cursed is the ground on your account. In pain you will eat its produce all the days of your life. It will grow thorns and thistles for you, and you must eat the vegetation of the field. In the sweat of your face you will eat bread until you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you will return.
Humanity was removed from the garden, not because God stopped loving them, but because sin and holiness cannot coexist. The way to the tree of life was closed. Paradise was lost.
Genesis chapter 3 is not just the story of failure. It is the story of choice. A reminder that sin often begins with doubt and grows through disobedience. But even here, in humanity's darkest moment, God's mercy quietly appears. For in this chapter, God hints at a future hope, a promise that one day evil would be defeated. The fall explains why the world is broken, but it also prepares us for redemption. And it all begins with listening to the right voice.
The question remains for every generation. When the whisper comes, who will you trust?